While others talk theory from their studios, I take you into the field to show you real deals, real investors, and real results. This is not classroom real estate. This is the unfiltered, boots on the ground playbook of the pros. Hi guys, my name is Brian Trippe. I live in Birmingham, Alabama, but I travel all across the country to bring you in-person interviews and property walkthroughs of professional real estate entrepreneurs. I'm so glad you're along for the ride, so let's get into today's show. What's going on, everybody? We are in Columbia, South Carolina. That's right, we're taking this show on the road, and I'm here with Andrew Lucas, who's a prominent real estate investor here in the Columbia area. And we are today going to talk about Columbia real estate. Tell everybody kind of a little bit about yourself, like your journey, your real estate journey kind of started. I know, interestingly, you were in like hospitality. I know you were doing hotels and things like that, and you kept your W-2 for I think as long as possible there for a little while. Yeah. And then now you've been full-time in real estate and you're just absolutely crushing it. So kind of give us like a little bit of background.
Yeah. So that was way back when. Very first property was in 2007. I graduated high school, went back home with mom and dad for like a month and realized that was terrible. And 2007, anybody could buy a house. So I bought a house, had a roommate help pay the mortgage, and thought that landlords were the smartest people in the world because I used to pay them rent. And then when I started collecting rent, I realized they weren't that smart because I didn't make any money. So that was 2007. At that same time, I got a job in hospitality. So I started managing hotels.
This is out of college or out of high school?
College.
Okay. I thought you said high school. Okay.
Oh my gosh, no.
So out of college, what made you decide to go buy a house and rent out?
Well, that's because I had been paying these landlords every single month, but back then, it was like $250 the rent. So I don't know how they were paying their bills, the rent we were paying, but I just thought I had the entrepreneurial bug. I knew I wanted to do more, and so I just went into that. I said, you know what, landlords got it made. I'm going to do this, and in 30 years, and I bought kind of in the college area. I said, in 30 years, this will be paid off. And it'll be good. It'll be a retirement investment. And that was kind of my mindset then. So bought that house, had a roommate. Then hospitality took me to another town where I opened another hotel. In that time frame, Michelle and I met, got engaged, got married, then came back to Columbia with another hotel. And about 2015, Michelle and I had been married a few years. We had 2 kids, which you know well, and one on the way. And we had 4 rental houses that were not cash flowing. They were a pain in the butt. I was cleaning toilets. We were doing the turns for the tenants. And I was a bad landlord because I was in hospitality. So I was like, the guest is always right. That's not the same thing with tenants. So I was not good at that. And we looked at each other at the point where we were literally painting a house for a turn. And our kids were at grandma's house. And we were sacrificing our time with the kids and our Saturdays or nighttime for these investments that were worthless to us at the point. I mean, there was no cash flow. We didn't make any money at the end of the year either. But we thought, in 30 years, they'll be paid off. And it's like, but that becomes a problem at some point. So we looked, we said, either we sell these and we just quit this, we go back, we just work our W-2 like everybody else, or we make it a business where we can actually grow and make cash flow, make income, earn wealth. And so thankfully Michelle was brave enough to say, let's go that way. And we set some goals, we set some parameters, and we started marching toward what we needed was 35 rental property units, 35 doors at $200 a door, cash flow, in order to get Michelle out of her W-2. That was the plan. Parameters were we weren't going to take money out of our own checking account. We were going to make sure that we were saving on our side and letting the business pay for itself. And that the other parameters were I couldn't manage the properties because that took a lot of time, and we couldn't do the flips or the renovations ourselves. We had to hire people to do it. So we set that goal and those parameters in 2015, 2016, we really got launched. And in 2018, we had 34 rental properties, unit doors.
How'd you do that so quickly? That seems like 30. When you first said 35, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's a lot of rentals.
And at the time, you know, there's that thing, you don't know what you don't know. We just got going, and we flipped. So we were flipping houses to buy more rentals. Right? We didn't have the income.
All while both holding W-2 jobs.
Yes.
And having kids.
And with the little youngins. So it helped that the jobs we were both in, we'd been in for years. We had great business, great companies, great bosses. Not that we didn't give all to that, but we were able to have some brain power. You know, it's just capacity to do other things. And because we had great teams that worked with us and stuff like that. So we were able to do that and flip the first house. It gave us a $30,000 profit that then we were able to buy a 5-unit, which this is crazy, I know. We paid $135,000 for a 5-unit. And it had tenants. It was very under rented, but we went to the bank, got a little rehab money, fixed it up, and then within 6 months of that, we refinanced that. And so then we got that money back and did it again. And so we did a 5-unit. I think we went to a 3 and then a 10-unit mobile home park. So we just kind of stacked them up like that. And that's how we went from 4 to 34 in 2 years. And at that time,
were you cash flowing them?
Yeah, everything was doing the cash flow. We had our parameters were 200 a month after
everything,
debt service, vacancy, you know, factored in
taxes,
insurance, all that, and
property management.
Property management, yeah. And that worked out. And in 2018, when our goal was to do this so that Michelle could retire when Reynolds went to public school, out of daycare, yeah. Mm-hmm. And in 2018, we were coming up on that, and my hotel was actually for sale. So we had a conversation, Michelle and I, and she said, you know what? Your hotel is going to be sold. You're losing that great boss, that great team.
I thought you were going to say you bought it.
No. Oh, Lord, no. So it was a $22 million hotel.
Like a big hotel.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
So that was being sold, and she said, you know what? You know this real estate stuff better. If you go and quit, I'll just keep working this W-2. If you quit, you can grow it faster. And then she's like, then I'll quit. And I was like, well, that's not a bad idea. And I was like, that's great for me. But then I'm like, oh, here I am, you know, making my wife work while I'm out here playing in real estate. But at that point, going back to the Rhino, that's where I was introduced to Wholesaling Inc., where I learned what wholesaling was. The entire time, from 4 to 34 units, I didn't know what wholesaling was.
How were you getting those deals?
Those deals were from agents, referrals, and the MLS. Because remember, I was working a full-time job.
So you went through 3 years really of real estate, maybe even a little bit more, and didn't even know what a wholesaler was.
I didn't know the term existed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was not in real estate crowd, right?
You didn't go to meetups.
I didn't go to meetups.
You didn't go to networking events.
I didn't do that. I found bigger pockets in that 2017, 2018 realm, and that's where I learned about wholesaling and wholesaling. And so I learned how to wholesale. As soon as I left my day job, I learned how to wholesale. Got really lucky, got a couple of deals right out the gate. And so Michelle actually quit her job at the end of 2018. So we've been full-time, all that story to say, we've been full-time since the end of 2018 in real estate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that your path is a path that someone could take today?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot more competition, right? There's a lot more people looking at this business, a lot more people doing it. There's more meetups, events, and groups, and social media has made it easier for people to see it. But that has not diminished the opportunity for people that actually take action. We talked about earlier that unfortunately, there's people that are going to watch this that are professional watchers of real estate, of the content, the videos, the podcasts. They come to our events, and there's a comfort level in that, but they don't ever get out of that comfort level and actually take action. Sure. And so going back to how Michelle and I were successful is we actually sat down. We had a couple of coaches that helped us prepare the parameters the rules that we were going to go, the goals that we were going to shoot for, and the pieces and parts that we're going to do that. If you do that today, you absolutely can still, go from a full-time job to quote retirement and full-time real estate. I know you've probably done this, but we have some clients here in town that we've helped do that just this year, and it's amazing how big the opportunity is in real estate, and everyone knows it. I feel like everyone knows it. People say, "Oh, real estate is the way most people get to be millionaires or they become rich," and Donald Trump got all his money in real estate. Like people they hear that, but unfortunately, that most of the people feel like it's unattainable for them, which could be further from the truth. Yeah.
So you mentioned you help people kind of get going in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
You've been doing that for 5 years probably. It seems like maybe a little bit more. But just to ask you, you think your path is still viable today? What do you advise people to do? Like if they come in and they're fresh and they don't know anything about real estate, what's kind of the path you put them on? Is it similar to what you did, or is it a little bit different? Or?
Yeah, it's very similar to what we did. I encourage people to start with getting in the room of other investors, get connected to people that are doing this. If you're not able to physically be there, there's the podcast, there's the YouTube channels. There's people that are actually doing the business, actually doing deals that you can learn from, and being around those people will help with your knowledge.
Like the learning curve, shortens the learning curve.
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing is just the awareness of what's possible. We've been doing this for a long time now, and people look at us like, oh, you're the expert, but I'm not any smarter than any of the other new people that come into our communities, or new people that are like, you know what, real estate is the way I want to build my future. And we work with people that are a lot smarter. Like one of our clients, he's a pilot, right? And we have multiple pilots there, actually, but he's flying all over the country. I'm like, I don't even know. I couldn't just fire up an engine, in a plane. And it's like, you don't have to be the smartest person. You don't have to have all the money. You just have to know that it's possible and start walking down that road. And it helps to get connected. Locally is my preference, but I get it.
Yeah.
Virtual's okay.
What's one of the maybe biggest roadblocks or challenges you see people face kind of right out the gate, like they're getting going?
So we just had our call, and there's a couple roadblocks that came up. One guy, he's a accomplished contractor. Great. He helps build our houses a lot of time. But he's like, I got this part. We're evaluating a deal. He's like, I got this. I know exactly how to build this together. But I'm so new, I don't know the financing part. So he's stuck on the financing. He's just like, I just don't know how to get it financed. And that is a fear that a lot of people have,
mm-hmm.
is you don't really know where to get the financing, mm-hmm. or how to get started getting the financing, but it's available, it's out there. And so that is a roadblock that a lot of people have, is like, I don't know how to do the financing. So he was stopping himself from making offers on deals or even evaluating the deal because he didn't know the financing. So that's one example where not knowing how to go to get the financing is going to stop him. The other side is the people that they have the financing, but they don't know where the deal's,
For sure.
Yeah. And so they're like, I've got this money, but I don't know how to get a deal. And again, it's if you were just in the same room together, like you would look at each other and there's the puzzle piece and you put it together, but none of that actually stops. Well, I guess let me back up. None of that is a true roadblock. It's maybe a speed bump and a little bit of a hurdle that you just got to work your way around. And then knowing that you can work around it, mm-hmm. is what's important.
I want to talk about Columbia. We're in South Carolina, and you've been doing real estate now since, I guess, 2007 is when you bought your first house. Yeah. So you're 18 years into this thing, and and you're only 25 years old. Yeah. So that, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, with 3 kids. Yeah.
Yeah, I travel a lot, as you do as well, and so I'd love to just kind of give me just a broad overview. I'm an out-of-state investor.
Mhm.
Potentially, I might be interested in the Columbia real estate market. What are some things I need to know from a rental standpoint
Mhm.
and from a potential retail standpoint? Like if I were to flip something.
Don't give me how much time we have. Can I go real bullish on Columbia for a minute?
Let's just be really kind of high overview.
Okay. So here's the beautiful thing about this market, and I'm bullish. I'm from here, great. I get it. Take this with what it is. But we are the capital city in Columbia, and of course you're in Birmingham. We're straight down I-20, right? But what's happened in this state is that the capital city has been dumped on for a long time as far as real estate values, because I don't know if because maybe not the right word. I think what happened is we have 7 universities, we have state government, we have federal government, we have 3 hospital systems. We have, if you remember, in the South, churches are everywhere. Churches were all downtown when they first were built. So our city is covered with non-tax paying real estate and entities that aren't promoting more growth from outside.
So you're talking about like universities that are tax exempt,
Yes.
churches that are tax exempt,
Yes.
a lot of
all federal, all state government is tax exempt. Hospitals.
So there's not a lot of funding.
Not a lot of funding, and it just kind of built an interesting dynamic of our city, and so then you think of South Carolina. If you're not from here, you think of South Carolina, you might think of Charleston, you might think of Greenville, you might think of Myrtle Beach. We have those major cities all around us. Let's get into the numbers. Our price per square foot average is $150 price per square foot for like doing flips or rentals or whatever.
And that's the city of Columbia.
That's our MLS. So that's our whole
MSA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So which is how big?
I don't know what's in the MLS, but it's about a million people.
The MSA. Yeah.
So it's like 600,000 in Columbia.
In the city.
Then we get a Lexington as well. So
okay.
You put them together. Depends on what you look at. It might say 400.
Around $1 million.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
If you take it all in.
Wow.
But
that's still bigger than I thought it was.
If you take that, go to Greenville, go to Charleston, go to Myrtle Beach, we're small, and our Greenville and Charleston, I think they're at like $400 and $600 price per square foot.
Mm.
I don't know what Myrtle Beach is. Myrtle Beach is its own thing. But Greenville and Charleston, we are 2 hours from Charleston, 2 hours from Greenville, up and down I-26. The industries have gone to Greenville and have gone to Charleston. Their economies have just blown up. They have lots of manufacturing, shipping, all kinds of stuff. Those areas are now so full and so expensive, they're looking at what's better, what's a little bit more affordable. Well, we finally are looking at us. So Columbia has been looked over for so long that now we are much more affordable, better for big land purchases like Scout Motors. They're about to start building Scout trucks here, and huge facility. And they didn't want to do that in other places because of the expenses and the labor and stuff like that. So we are on the beginning of what I believe is going to be a big upswing because we have a lot of room. Comparative markets, we have a lot of room to grow before we hit those places. So all those things that were like kind of hurting our property values for years, I think are going to help us be set up for future growth. So we're looking at flips where we used to, our average price of a property is like $300,000. So when we're flipping houses, we like to kind of do it just a little bit less than that if we can. It moves a little faster. So we're buying them for 100 to 150, putting 50 to 75 in, and selling it somewhere around 3. Rental, if you are up for the student rental population, the prices have gone really high because the campus, they don't want to be in the business anymore of dorms. So college campuses are actually eliminating some of the beds, and so that helps if you want to build a huge apartment complex. Definitely helps, but also helps the mom and pop landlords that where we used to be paying $300, $400, $500 a bedroom. Now it's $1,000 to $1,200 a bedroom. So there's lots of potential there. We also have short-term rental. I mean, I don't know if many people talk about that, but we're in a weird place with short-term rental. It got really popular, and then the cities and the counties and the neighborhoods started fighting back. So we're in the legislation area for that here in our town. Where
so they don't allow it, or
some places have said no. Well, what they ended up doing was saying you had to get a permit, and now I think they're going to do a hold on new permits. So we'll see where that goes. We're not a huge Charleston, Myrtle Beach, whatever, more tourist attractions, but there's something to be said there. We're seeing people actually sell some of their short-term rental, the things that they bought specifically for that. So that's a change. We have Fort Jackson. I totally forgot to mention. Among the other non-tax paying things is Fort Jackson, which is the largest or second largest Army training base. And so we have a lot of people coming in. Really helps our real estate around the base because they come in and they'll rent on the outside of the base or they'll buy on the outside of the base.
Gotcha.
And so,
where's the opportunity today? If I were coming into Columbia?
We have a lot of different opportunity areas. Columbia is a very spread out, like I was saying, very spread out where the downtown is not the central living area. I think every year until like 5 years ago, the number of people living downtown was decreasing. People would come and then they would leave. And so if you look at a map, you've got our northeast area. It's a great booming area, a lot of new builds in the 90s. But going north of I-77 is where Scout is. That's Blythewood. Huge opportunities there because there's a large amount of people that are going to be hired at that place there. Where we are, we like the southeast area. It's still really affordable. Lots of room for growth. We're doing some infill lots and things like that. However, like I said, downtown, now people are moving back downtown. So depending on the price point, we also have Lexington and then Lake Murray are very good spots to go. I would say it depends on the actual price point of where you want to be. If you're new, you want to get into a inexpensive renovation or inexpensive rental property, I would say southeast. If you want to look at students, you're going downtown. If you're looking at more affluent, you want a larger rental or you want to do a larger flip, you go up towards areas like Chapin, Lake Murray. We got a very diverse town. We're all over the place.
What about you? What are you guys specifically up to? Like, what's kind of your bread and butter as far as like real estate goes? Do you go after a certain type of deal? You're doing some flips, you're holding some rentals. I know we're sitting in a building that you own where your office is. What's kind of your bread and butter? What do you like to do?
So we've always liked to do the flip that's under the average price, like the average of that 200 to 300.
Almost like the affordable housing, sort of.
Right. So we always liked that. And we've moved, like we talked a little earlier, a lot of our rental units, single family and duplexes, we've sold a lot and we moved into some small commercial spaces, this one and a few others. So we really like that move. But today, and this is kind of the thing for everyone to go research and figure out how you can do this today. It's that what you mentioned, the affordable house. How can people still buy and own and have their own space in today's market? Because if you don't know, I mean, the wages haven't gone up as high as the house prices have, so that's what we've been looking at, and that's what we've been really excited about is land with a modular home or a mobile home, as people will call it, whatever. It's mobile home, but then fix it to the ground, make it a home, make it feel like a home, make it look like a home, and you're able to still sell that at a really, really great price to people. And it's been I mean, I'd say the number one thing we're looking to do more of.
You're not as big on single family? Besides the...
I mean, we still flip them.
How many flips
we're
you
not
have?
buying, we're not buying and keeping them right now.
How many flips you have going on right now?
Between our deal partners, if I can envision the map here, I think it's probably 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you're helping some of your students flip houses.
Yeah.
In addition to the ones that y'all are doing on your own.
Right. And we're not doing very many on our own. We're doing them with deal partners right now. And that's what we do here locally.
Yeah.
And so it's part of our education.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're doing a handful.
Why aren't you buying as many single families to hold? You prefer the kind of the office space right now?
Yeah, the single family to hold, which was amazing for us through COVID. We are, and I could be totally wrong, but it feels like our appreciation has stalled and kind of plateaued, and that single family class, holding it for a long time, you really, really feel the wealth generation from that appreciation. In my opinion, you really want kind of that to happen. So not saying we won't get more, but right now buying them at the price that we would buy them, that appreciation gain is going to take longer. And so not that we're not going to buy more single families, but if we can get the 5 unit, the 10 unit, even the duplexes to help with cash flow while we're waiting for that appreciation jump again.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So,
well, Andrew, thank you. I appreciate you kind of taking me through Columbia a little bit, because I think that as we kind of branch out with this channel, we want to kind of learn about different markets. So thank you for kind of giving us a little bit of a rundown, and I want to go take a look at a property if you don't mind.
Right after this. Let's go right now.
Let me ask you something. Who's in your corner? One of the biggest breakthroughs in my real estate journey came when I stopped trying to figure it all out on my own, and I started surrounding myself with high-level investors who are actually doing deals and building real businesses. That's why I created Board of Advisors, a curated mastermind for real estate entrepreneurs who are serious about growth. We're talking real conversations about cash flow, hiring, deal flow, burnout, and strategy, the stuff that actually moves the needle. We're meeting October 6th and 7th in Birmingham, Alabama. And if you've been feeling stuck or isolated, or like your business could grow faster with the right people around you, then I want you to go to boamastermind.com and enter that promo code podcast. That way you get a deep discount, and that way you can join us. And when I say deep discount, I really mean it. I'm literally only covering my costs to host the event. So go ahead and go to boamastermind.com, enter that promo code podcast, and join us here in Birmingham. And I just want to be clear here. This isn't one of those flashy masterminds full of influencers trying to build their followings. This room is built for operators, real estate investors who want to scale their business, not their social media presence. Go to boamastermind.com, enter the promo code podcast, and meet me in Birmingham on October 6th and 7th. Tell me why this house specifically is significant. You've owned it for a while, but what's happening right now with this house?
So we've owned it for a while. We bought it after kind of like a landlord renovation, and we got.
What does that mean?
He put new carpet in it. He did do new windows, but he didn't really upgrade or update the unit. So anyway, we've had it rented for many years. That was like 2016, I think. This downstairs unit, it was very poorly designed. It wasn't really, he just kind of used what was there. He did separate it, make it a duplex. So there's a door here and it goes upstairs. Upstairs unit is fine. We like it. It's good to go. Downstairs was very, very bad floor plan. So our rents were really low. Like one of the bedrooms was a closet, and you had to walk through another bedroom just to get in. So it was just terrible.
So hold on. So you bought it from a quote unquote landlord.
Yeah, which is actually a wholesale deal. So somebody brought it to us
in 2016. So you're talking about 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So you've had this for a while, and you bought it to specifically be a rental.
Yep.
And you bought it. It was already a duplex.
It's already a duplex.
And you wanted to keep it as a duplex. You felt like that was the highest and best use of the property.
We debated on turning back to a single family because this is a nice big house on a big lot. One of the things that you mentioned is that it is at a stop sign. It is at a bus stop. And so this neighborhood now, maybe a single family this size would work. The rental rates, keeping it as a duplex rental, seems to be better in this specific part of this neighborhood.
Because those two rents together would be significantly
Be
more
much higher
than just a single family.
And then and then a single family maybe worth more.
Okay, so you kept it as a duplex, and that was the intent all along.
Yep.
You mentioned the previous owner had come in and just kind of like lipstick on a pig kind of thing. Just didn't do it like probably tenant proof or bulletproof a house like you probably want it done.
Exactly.
So now is this, we're 9 years in. Is this the first time someone's moved out?
Downstairs, so we had property management doing it, handling it. Downstairs had some tenant turnover. Upstairs was really stable, very stable upstairs. And so we never really came in to do a full reno because it would turn over quick. It would turn over quick. We have since taken over property management of our properties. And when we came in, laid eyes on it, we were just, disappointed of what the house looked like. And then we saw the opportunity as this neighborhood has grown, as this neighborhood's gotten more popular, we see the opportunity now to really make this unit something special. And so, no, it's not just a unit turnover. There's a little bit of extra work in there.
Okay, well, let's see it. Let's see what you're doing.
Let's see it.
So, yeah, no, I understand now. Like, I guess you had a property manager, and they don't always. You're such a huge real estate investor in the area, Andrew, that you can't keep up with all your properties. No. So you didn't have such huge eyes on this one.
We did not have eyes on it very much.
And it's
but property management, that's what they're supposed to do, right? It's deposit my checks and let me know if there's a problem.
And there wasn't a problem.
Wasn't a problem.
Right. Yeah. Just little stuff over time is becoming a huge problem. So it's time to come in and just do a full rehab.
So that was our plan. And we sent in a guy. We said, hey, we gave plans. We said we need to do some strategic demo so that we can rebuild this the way we want. And then we showed up, and strategic demo had gone out the window along with everything else.
And now, apparently, we're down to the studs.
Yes. So in strategitic demo.
So this is not just a tenant turnover.
This is not just tenant turnover anymore.
Just right up the first things I'm thinking, which we're gonna obviously we'll take a tour of this and learn a little bit more about it. But the first thing that comes to my mind is you have a tenant upstairs.
Right now it's vacant.
It's vacant.
Yeah, it's been vacant for about a month or two.
The whole property's vacant.
The whole property's
vacant. So now, are you going to go do the whole thing then?
So we've done a tenant turnover up there because the floor plan, everything's fine up there. We can walk up there and look at it. But this needed reorganization because we just walked in. Imagine this being your living room, this being a bedroom, and then the kitchen being all the way over there. And then there being this was a bedroom. You actually had to walk through the bedrooms to get to the kitchen. Yeah, that kind of floor plan.
Sounds like Birmingham, downtown Birmingham, Alabama.
Which is bad. I mean, it's just, and that's why turnover here was consistent. It was yearly because people will do that in a pinch, but they don't want to live like that. So that's what. And so when we said let's do strategic demo, what we wanted to do was what they did here. But then none of that, most of that stuff was supposed to still have sheetrock and walls. Where the ceiling was supposed to be there. The back wall should have still been there. But they got a little zealous with the demo, which meant now we're doing everything. So now we're doing all new plumbing, all new electrical, all new HVAC. Because once you go too far in demo, now the zoning, whatever inspectors, now we have to bring everything.
Yeah, you're not grandfathered anymore.
There's no more grandfathers.
You lose all that.
We are all done. And so that was the plan, strategic, but it didn't happen.
Now it's just a full-on gut. This is a $50,000 rehab now.
Yeah. And when you open up a 110-year-old house.
That's what I was going to ask you next.
The inspectors, they're like, this isn't code. This doesn't meet code. But everyone knows it's been here for 100 and some odd years. We had to get multiple engineering certificates where they would come in and test the weight, do whatever measurements they do, to then tell the city, yes, this is still safe. I don't know how much construction knowledge most people have, but what you actually have is the second floor of the house riding on this 1 inch by 6-inch board. And this is the way they used to.
This board right here.
So no, this one going across. You see that going across?
Oh,
see how it's notched into the stud?
Oh, yeah.
And then the joists sit on that. So there's no joist hangers. There's no ledger board. It's sitting on that, which looks scary, right? From what we are used to today. But it's been here, and the engineer had to come and approve this, and he did. Allowed to keep it.
You're talking about this 1x6.
That 1x6 that goes all the way.
That is all like termite eaten right here. It looks like. And then Andrew, just the additional challenges of it being we're in a historic district. So you mentioned a 110-year-old home. Mm-hmm. What kind of restrictions are you facing just with that? Are you allowed to do everything you want to do, or they're telling you can't do certain things?
So this house, when we bought it in 2016, we've actually done a lot of renovations on historic homes. And one of the first things we do is we go to the city and the state and we say, what kind of free stuff can we get? What's the credits? What's the discounts? What's the tax incentives? It depends on where you're at and what the building
like a grant
for. Yeah, you can qualify for grants. You can qualify for tax rebates, tax incentives. Back then, we had this listed as no tax incentives, not in a historic district, nothing to worry about. We get to this point. We've been at this for a couple months, as obviously you can tell. The inspector, when he came, and he's like, "Okay, we're good, but you got to go get the historic district now to give you a pass." Mm-hmm. And we said, "Well, what are you talking about? This isn't in the historic district." He said, "Oh, well, my records say it is." And so we went back and asked again, and turns out we are contributing property to this overlay that's in this district. Mm-hmm. So that's good and that's bad. It's good because now we get to go get tax credits. This particular credit will allow this property, if we spend 25% of the value of the property value on renovations, we can freeze the property tax amount.
For how long?
20 years.
Wow. So
what we currently pay in property tax, which is based on what we purchased it in 2016, that value now stays. That's all we will pay for the next 20 years, as long as we do and get approved, which we will.
So you still have to pay property taxes, just that 2016 amount. 2016 it won't ever go up.
Which is based on that discounted purchase, not after, because typically if you do a reno like this, you'll get reassessed. And we won't get, we will get reassessed, but they give us a credit every year, so we don't have to pay for it. Okay. Which is an incredible program. Many municipalities do this, and we've done multiple properties like this. So it's going to say that entices us to keep it as a rental, because now
versus selling as a flip.
Versus selling it, because now our cash flow can work better without paying.
Because you're not paying higher property taxes. Right. This house, if it were turned into a single family residence that you've done a really good job with the remodel. Yeah. It would sell for what on the open market?
Based on that comp, there would be, what did I say, 640, 650?
So about mid six.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one was 670, 585.
How much did you get this for, Andrew, in 2016? About
160, I think.
Okay, 160. And you've been collecting rent for 9 years.
Yeah.
And then now you're going to come in and do a full rehab. I guessed 50 earlier before you were telling me more stuff. This is going to be more than $50,000 rehab.
Yeah, I think we're going to be closer. On our paperwork we turned in for the historic thing, which is our budget, that was 100. So
you're going to be just this bottom part.
Yeah. But we're not planning to turn this into a single family.
No, I understand all that. All that. So you are telling me, and this is going to rent for how much?
Down here, so how many bedrooms did we end up with? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 bedrooms. So this will be, in this area, we'll get anywhere from $8,000 to $1,000 per bedroom. So $2,400 to $3,000.
And then upstairs is going to rent for how much?
Upstairs is $1,400.
So altogether, $4,000, maybe a little over $4,000,
like that,
a month.
Mm-hmm.
And you are saying that you're better off keeping it.
I didn't necessarily say we're better off. I said we're keeping it.
Okay.
At this point, we're keeping it. However, what we just talked about, that doesn't mean we'll keep it forever. I mean, once we do this flip, or quote flip, once we do all this renovation, we see duplexes going at these kind of prices. We might sell it. We have, as a company, as a business, Michelle and I, my wife and I, we bought a lot of property pre-COVID. We bought plenty since, but everything we bought pre-COVID, the just incredible spike in values. 2019 average price per square foot in our town was $90 per square foot. Right now, it's $160 average. So average homes have gone through the roof.
Right.
And so we have, as a business and family, have sold a lot of stuff we bought before COVID because the equity is just started piling up. And we get to the plateau where the equity, the increase has slowed down. And so it makes more sense to take that money out, put it into something else, buy something else. And so this property might be there. We came into this renovation mostly because this property needed it. And then we come in, we find out it's historic. So now we get to hold this tax value super low. That gets us thinking, well, we can't go back and do that, right? It's really, there's not many landlords that are going to sell these.
So you're talking about, so if you bought this for the mid hundreds 9 years ago, what are the taxes? You remember?
The rough math I use here is to take 3% of the assessed value. So if it's 200,000, it's be 6,000 a year, versus after this gets renovated and reassessed after that, when we close it all out, I would say it gets reassessed for like somewhere between 500,000 to 600. So what's that? 15 to 20,000 a year. Yeah.
So you're saving 12 grand plus a year, just the property taxes.
Right.
For 20 years.
And we're we're still in this really, really exciting neighborhood. So, and we're going to build a house right next door to create a new comp. So we look forward to that.
Incredible. All right, show us the rest of this house.
It's really hard to explain what used to be here, but just assume it was really bad. Okay. Like floor plan wise.
Okay. So I see old hardwood floors that have been, they're probably just going to become subfloor at this point.
Is just be subfloor at this point, even though they're amazing and we love
and you're going to put what in here?
This will all be LVP, like we talked about. It'll be tenant proofed, probably floating or glued down LVP, stuff that they can not destroy. This is a bedroom. This is a bedroom. This was the old kitchen. And so the kitchen now becomes up in that front room, which we can go back to that. So we've got...
So this is a bedroom.
This will become a bedroom. This is a closet. Around the other side has a primary.
So how many baths? There's 2 baths?
2 baths.
2 full baths. But there's not one off of a bedroom? Or primary bedroom is what you said.
It's right over here.
How do I get in here? What is this?
There you go.
Okay.
See, it says door on the floor.
This is primary. Okay.
There it is.
Door. And this is a really big area.
Yeah.
So a bath here and a closet here. And it says it right here on the floor. That's how I knew it.
Yeah, so the siding you see here, all the siding on the back of the house had to come off because it was not the inspector said it all had to be house wrapped and insulated. And then
wrapped in vinyl?
Yeah, whatever that plastic stuff is.
Gotcha.
Weather wrapping. And
so
he had us take off that siding, and then he said, by the way, you need to talk to Historic Columbia and ask them about this stuff, which they are really, really particular on what you do on the exterior. They don't really care about the inside as much, but he had us take it all off and then said, oh yeah, you should go ask. So we're hoping we don't get in trouble. We will find out this week. They were supposed to come inspect, but it is what it is. It's gone now.
So what's this? All this kind of broken up 2x4.
I think it's just backing so that when they go to put sheetrock on, this will be flat and level, because this is a bunch of hodgepodge wood that was here because there was a window here, I'm sure, or something. So this is what they're going to do the sheetrock to. And they over there in the kitchen, it's kind of the old kitchen is kind of the same. So they got to bring what was here back, bring it out so that you got a nice flat wall for.
Very interesting.
Indeed, isn't it?
What you're doing here is you're almost like combining the old with the new versus tearing out. Like talk about that for a second. Just keeping some of these old. Is that something you had to do?
No, you don't have to do that. Again, the historic district stuff, they're not as worried about this.
So why wouldn't you just tear out all the old studs?
It's so expensive to do that. I mean, that's just which a lot of people do. We talk about this a lot in our community of HGTV style demo, where you just take everything out because it's really fun to swing a sledgehammer, but then you got to put it all back. And that gets expensive because you got about all the lumber for this. And then if we tore these things out, what adjustments would be made? What things would get twisted or tweaked? So leave as much as we can. And to be honest, like these 2x4s are way stronger than those 2x4s.
Yeah.
These are actually 4 inches by 2 inches versus what now it's 1.5 by 3.5 or something. So these are way stronger. It's crazy how long they lasted, how sturdy they are. You know, a really fun piece that you can get, I don't know if you can see it on camera, is back in the day, if the wood was bowed a little bit, they actually put a notch in it and then put a shim in there. So when this thing was built, they had perfectly level or perfectly straight wood. It's kind of crazy. There's a couple of spots for that.
So, but this has all been approved. It's already been inspected.
Yeah, so, I mean, here's our basic plan. The plans are approved. The plans have been to the city. Now we have our engineer certificates that have also been approved. Now that we are contributing to the historic district, now we're asking the historic district to give us approval for that tax benefit. We don't have to do that. We could just finish without asking them anything, but we want the tax benefit.
No doubt about it.
So we're going to ask.
And you're keeping this.
Yeah, we keep that just for feature. I mean, we'll clean it up, of course.
I understand why you're going to close these for a tenant. Mm-hmm. Is it just sheetrocking over it? It's just unnecessary and just a cost that you don't need to do? Yeah,
I think, and it just gives a little feature. I mean, we don't want to go tearing it down. Again, that's just an expense. We could sheetrock over it if we wanted to, but I'm not the design guy, but I've heard that it helps to have a little like texture or something, okay. And it focuses the eye.
And then your kitchen's over here.
So this would be the kitchen, yeah.
So this looks like almost like an old school LVL.
Yeah, so that was originally there.
Yeah.
This was a doorway. This was a cased opening when the house was built. Mm-hmm. And it had some little like decorative almost doors, I guess. Maybe they were pocket doors or swinging doors. The other unit is actually on the other side of this wall. So the hallway and the stairs to get upstairs are now over there. Uh-huh. So originally when this house was built, this wall wouldn't have been here. And so this would have been like a formal dining room area, which is why this was a cased opening. Mm.
And then this door right here, is that going to get closed in or you're going to keep it?
So this is going to go to the laundry for this unit.
Oh, yeah.
And then obviously that's the stairs for going upstairs.
And then the laundry will be in this room.
Yeah. When we go to do sheetrock and finish this place up, everything's going to have to be fire blocked. So it'll be double sheetrock on all these ceilings. You can actually kind of see right there how thick that sheetrock is. Uh-huh. So that'll keep everything away from between the two units. You have to have a fire separation. The original guy, so this was a closet. This was built out, and this is how all their closets in this house were like this. So this was a bedroom like this big with that closet in the middle. Mm-hmm. That's why we came in here to reorganize this. Whether we keep it, sell it, rent it, whatever, it needed some work.
But you already made the decision that this is going to stay a duplex. Mm-hmm. but you are going to be able to get more combined rent for a duplex than you would just if it was a single family, if you're renting it.
Yes.
But even if you sell it, it seems to me like in the future, you would sell it as an investment property, as a duplex.
Right.
Because what you're doing here with the kitchen, presumably there's a kitchen upstairs too.
There is indeed. Yeah.
And there's probably laundry. There's probably all the duplicate
Yep.
things upstairs that don't need to be, that you're not going to have in a single family house. So if you were to sell this down the road, you're going to have to sell it to an investor probably.
Well, yeah, but you know, the city, we feel like city living, and we're still in the South, but throughout the country, people that want to live in the city, they get used to sharing walls and rooms, and there might be a person that wants to live here, especially a young professional, that would like someone to pay the rent. So one of the reasons we wanted this to be completely separate, we're actually going to, with that new build, put a driveway on this side so that this tenant doesn't have to park with this tenant. They don't have to share this front porch. So we really are going to try to separate it completely.
So Andrew, before we go, guys, we're wrapping up right now, but before we go, show me that real quick, if you don't mind. You're building a whole new house. So is this a situation where when you bought this property, there just was extra land with it and you subdivided it?
Well, I wish. We have room back there, but we can't do the subdivision.
So you bought this separate.
So
it's a completely different state.
This house here, we actually tried to buy it from that seller. We couldn't get her to the price we needed because of the damage in that house. However, another investor, another flipper, bought that, and as you can see, it's looking really good. They're about to list it, I think, but that had this vacant extra lot, and so we just couldn't make the numbers work with her, and she went with them, which is fine. But we immediately told them, hey, if you're not going to build, we want this lot.
So what did you buy it from them for?
So we are buying this one for $65,000.
And that is includes all the fees to get it subdivided and all that?
Yeah, they've already subdivided it. It's got a water tap. It's got sewer. The thing is, and so we talked about the driveway. This tree is our tree. It's a beautiful.
That is a gigantic,
that is a massive
old
tree. It's an old, massive tree.
And you're taking that out.
So that's got to go.
That's a $3,000 tree?
Probably, yeah, for sure. And so we'll be able to put a driveway in now here that will be able to be shared and allowed for this tenant.
Holy cow, that's a huge tree.
Yeah.
Oh, that's disappointing because that's a really awesome old
It's a beautiful tree.
Okay, so you're going to put in a driveway. Are you going to end up combining that driveway and to make it a part of this property?
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll deed it, or whatever we have to do to ensure access for anytime we sell. Had to get the Department of Transportation to give us permission to cut this curb. But we've got that. We've got all the drawings for that. So we'll cut the curb and come in, and then we'll give whatever we have to do legally to give access on this side. But,
and then, is this a big enough lot? I mean, that seems like a pretty small lot to build. I guess you're going to build back.
Yeah, it's the same size as that one. So
okay.
Well, yeah, if you look at the wooden fence, it's on the wrong side. The left side of wooden fence is a few feet over.
Of that wooden fence over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it kind of shrinks it a little bit.
Okay. And then they put in a fence over here on this side.
Yep.
Okay. Very interesting. And so will you make two driveways then over here?
No, just the one. Just the one over here.
What about the new home that's going in?
They're going to share. So it'll be one driveway, one big pad. It'll be the size of two, but it'll be one big pad.
Got it.
Yeah. So that they can both share.
But it'll be, I guess there'll be an easement.
An easement or whatever. If there might be the line, if we can straddle the property line.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm not a lawyer and don't play one on TV,
right.
But somebody will draft it so that it's legal.
Right. Got it.
Yeah.
Andrew, this is awesome. I mean, just going from buying a house in the mid ones to it being worth in the sixes just, 9 years later, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I hadn't done that math, so that's actually kind of exciting.
That's exciting. And then plus all the rent for the 9 years too.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're just gaining equity.
Yeah, this has been
and then they keep the property taxes super low.
Yeah,
this is an exciting deal.
This has been one of our favorites. Like I said, we sold a lot of properties already. And this is one we didn't sell because it's been one of our favorites. Great location. It's getting better. And
yeah.
We
Very
do.
cool.
We like old houses too. It's a pretty one.
Awesome. Andrew, thank you so much for giving us a great tour.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
I'm glad
our
you're
visit.
here.
Our visit to Columbia, South Carolina, guys.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for the next one. Thanks so much for listening to today's show. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you got any value today, please take 30 seconds and leave us a quick review. To get connected with me or to become a part of the Board Advisors community, go to boamastermind.com. That's boamastermind.com. We'll see you guys on the next one.